Hi there, my name is Sharat Chandar. Welcome back to my channel. In this video, we are going to learn how to build your own Google Gemini AI app using HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. Get help with writing, planning, learning, and much more with Google AI. Gemini, formerly known as Bot, is a generative artificial intelligence AI chatbot developed by Google. Will unlock the potential of generative AI for free and transform your projects effortlessly. Let's dive in. Here on the screen, we can see the Google Gemini design that shows welcome message, side navigation bar with collapsible menu, and new chat button with recent list. This will auto set based on the search. Welcome message says, Hello Sarat Chandar K. How can I help you today? And then below we have a prompt question. This will auto generate based on our interest or search with AI. So same as I have created as dynamic and displayed from JavaScript array. Below we have a input box that asks to enter a prompt here. Hello, how are you today? Once we enter the prompt, we'll get the send button here. And once I remove, it will gone again. I will type and I will hit send. Once I send the request, we'll get the typing effect with loading animation. In the left hand side, in the side menu, we can see the recent list. So again, I will click on new chat and I will ask to the roadmap of how to become a full stack developer. Once we click this, we'll get that user profile with that question and then loading animation. We'll get that roadmap to full stack developer by point with typing effect. In the end, it will give the tips or we can improve all the steps. It will be generated by AI. So again, I will click on new chat and I ask to write a sample code to learn JavaScript. Again, we'll get that loading animation. Once we'll get the response, it will automatically hide and it will type the response here. So these are all the basic JavaScript topics. It was mentioned with commands and then what it contains. And then again, I will go to new chat and I will ask a generic questions to write a thank you note to my subscribers. This powerful generative AI that offers free API calls. Whether you are a developer or just curious, this tutorial will show you how to get started from obtaining your API key to make your first request. That's all for the demo. If you find this tutorial useful, please subscribe to our channel and watch this video to motivate me. Let's level up our tech game together. Here on my desktop, I have already created a project folder name called Gemini AI. Let me open this into a Visual Studio Code. So I will drag this directory into a Visual Studio Code. Visual Studio Code will automatically loads all the files inside it. Inside the directory, I have already created the index.html, style.css and script.js. In the index.html, I have added the HTML boilerplate with the help of exclamation mark. Along with that, I have changed the title to Google Gemini by Sharat Chandar K. And then I have linked other two files with the help of link with style.css with the help of script with script.js. Along with that, I have added one more link tag to use the font awesome icon with the help of font awesome CDN. Now inside the body, I am going to add the div with container with the help of embed abbreviation. I will use dot with container. If I hit enter, it will create a div with class attribute with the value of container. Inside that, I am going to add one more div with side navigation. Inside that, I am going to add one more div with top bar action. Inside this div, I am going to add the icons to open and collapse the side navigation bar with FA solid FA bars. This FA solid will get the icons from that font awesome CDN. Next to this, I am going to add the side nav button. Inside this, I am going to add the button with new chat. I will include the icon to this with I class of FA solid again with FA plus. This will get the plus icon inside the button, and then I will set this new chat inside the span tag with the help of class collapse text. So next to this, I am going to add one more div with side nav button. So inside that, I am going to add the button with value of new button with the help of span with class of collapse text, the value of new chat, and I will set the icon to this with I element class of FA solid FA plus. This will get the plus icon to this button. Next to this, I am going to add one more div with chat history. Inside that, I will add the h5 with value of recent. Below, I have added the UL tag. This will help us to set all the list of recent chats. Below, I will add one more div with action list. So the same as this button, I need to create three more buttons. So I will copy this and I will paste it here and I will add the class of transparent button. Then I will copy this for two times. I will change the text to new chat to help, icon to FA regular, FA circle question, and then next button as instead of new chat I will set to activity, icon should be FA solid, FA clock, rotate left. Third button as settings, instead of FA plus I need to change to FA gear. Let us see our HTML file in action. So for that, in Visual Studio Code we have a extension called go live. Once we click this, it will automatically run our server into the default browser. Here we can see the bars of menu, new chat with plus icon, and then recent with action button. Now we need to style this. So for that, I need to jump to the style.css. Here I have already added the import URL of font family outfit. I have set the general styles to all the elements with margin to 0, padding to 0, and then box sizing border box. Now I will set the styles to the body with the element selector name called body. I will set the background color to white, I to 100 VH, font family outfit. Next I need to set all the icons font size to 16px. Next thing I need to add the styles to the container with the help of class selector with dot value of container. Inside that I'm going to set the height of 100%. Next to this I will add the display flags. This will help to set all the values center of the container. Then next thing I need to add the styles to the site navigation. So same as with class selector dot the value of site navigation. Inside that I will set the width to 350px, background color to light gray color, padding inner spacing 1 rem, transition all for 0.3 seconds is in and out. If I save, if I go to the browser, now we can see the site navigation bar. Here once we click this should be collapsed and then this menu should be hide, right. So before that we need to style the buttons as well as the recent list. Now the next thing, as I said, I'm going to set this styles to this top bar action with the class of site navigation bar. Inside that we have that top bar action. For this I will set the margin outer spacing to be 15px, cursor to pointer. Thing I need to set the styles to this bars with site navigation top action with that element selector of I. For this, I will set the font size to 18px. Then for next thing, I need to set the styles to this side nav button with same side navigation as a parent div, sub div as side nav button. For this side nav button, I will set the margin top to 50, margin bottom to 30px. If I save, if I go to the browser, now we can see the styles between the button and then bars. Next thing I need to set the styles to this chat history with the help of site navigation class of dot chat history. For this I need to set to min I to 250px and then overflow y to scroll. So for this I need to set some of the li like hello how are you today. If I save, if I go to the browser, now we can able to see the recent with UL with scroll option here. So we need to add the style and we need to remove the scroll. So for this, again with side navigation, chat history, we need to remove the scroll, right? So for that, we have a WebKit scroll bar. So simply we can set to display none. If I save, if I go to the browser, now we can't able to see the scroll option for that recent list. For next thing inside that, I need to set the styles to the H5. So with side navigation, with chat history, the element selector of H5. I will set the font size to 0.875 rem, font weight to 500, line height to 1.25 rem, for outer spacing margin, top and bottom to 15, right and left to 5. If I save, if I go to the browser, we can see the styles to this. Next thing, I need to remove the list type to none, and then I need to add the styles to the each li. For now, we have one li. I will add some more recent list like this. Then we need to add the styles, right? With side navigation, chat history with all the LIs. I will set the height to 40 px, border radius to 50 px. I need to set all the items into the center of the LI with the help of display flags. Align items to be center, padding inner spacing to be 10 px, cursor to pointer, font size to 14 px, display to inline block, the width of each li to be 225 px, white space to no wrap. This will not set any text to the next line. I will set the overflow to be hidden. Text overflow should be ellipsis. If I save, if I go to the browser, now we can see this. So for example, if I add more than a text, so as I said, I will copy this and I will add bigger text here. If I refresh, it will set to dot 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 with that overflow to be ellipsis. This is how the style will look like. For example, we can give a text prompt like more than 100 text or 200 text. All the 100 text or 200 text we can't be displayed here, right? So only we have set this, some text should be visible and then other text should be dot dot dot, so user can come to know there is a line item to this text. For here I have set some icon like I tag of class FA solid FA message. If I save, if I go to the browser, now we can see the icon with that text. So we need to style this too. So again with side navigation, chat history, and then I will set the padding right to 10 px. Now we can see the space between this. Once user hover to this, we need to add the background color. So for that, I will add the same li with hover background color of gray. If I save, if I go to the browser, now we can see this. The next thing, we need to add the styles to the action list with buttons. With side navigation and then side nav button with button. Here we can able to see this side navigation and then side button. Inside that we have the button element. So for this I will set the height to 40 px, width to 140 px, and then border radius to be 50 px. Outline should be none, border should be none. This will help to remove the outline and then border to that particular element. I will set the background to light gray color. I need to set the content inside this. This should be center with the help of display flags, and then align item center space evenly to inside the content. I will set the transition to 0.3 second and cursor to pointer. If I save, if I go to the browser, now we can see the new button with cursor effect. Now we need to set the styles to this action buttons. We need to set this all action button to the bottom of the list, right? So for that, side navigation and then action list, I will set the position to be fixed, bottom to be 15 px, display to flags, flux direction should be column. This will help us to set in a column way of that buttons. If I save, if I go to the browser, here we can see the button is fixed into the end of the list in a column way. The next thing, I need to add the styles to the buttons. For that, the same side navigation action list for element selector of button. I will set the margin outer spacing of 1 px, adding inner spacing of 10 px, text align to be left, border radius to 50 px. I will remove the border to none, outline to none, width of 230 px, cursor to pointer, background to transparent, and I will set the transition also to this. If I save, if I go to the browser, now we can see this. And as same as we need to add the over effect to this. I will use the same over effect to this and then I will reuse this. I will set the hover to this. If I save, now we can able to see the styles, but it is merged with that icon. So I will add the styles to that for the text using class name called collapsible text. So I will add the side navigation and then action list with button element and then class of collapse text. I will set the padding top and bottom to be 0 and then right and left to be 10 px. If I save, if I go to the browser, now we can get the uniform space to that button elements. We have completed the side nav and I need to add the chat window welcome message here. For that in index.html inside the container, I am going to add one more div with chat window. So inside that I will create one more div with start content. This will get that welcome message with help of h1. Inside that I will add two span tag. First span tag as class value with brand hello. Second span tag class as brand question. For that brand hello, I can say the value of hello Sharat Chandar K. And then brand question is how can I help you today? If I save, we can see that below to this, I will add one more break element. This will get the space here and I will add the UL tag. This UL tag help to display the prompt based on the search. So anyway, we are using this as a dynamic array. This is what the start content and then next thing I need to add the chat content here with same div of chat content. Inside that I will create one more div with results. This div will set all the results what we are get as a response. Below to this I will going to add the input area, add the user prompt here. Inside that I will add the input with type of text placeholder of enter a prompt here. Below to this I'm going to add the icon group. So inside that I'm going to add three icons with class of font awesome solid. First icon as FA image. So I will copy and paste it for two times and then I will change the icon with second one as microphone, third one as paper plane. If I save, now we can able to see the text box as well as the icons here. Below to this input area, I'm going to add the privacy policy. With this p tag, I will add the privacy policy what Google has mentioned. Gemini may display inaccurate info including about people, so double check its response, your privacy and Gemini app. If I save, we'll get that prompt also here. Now we need to style this. So again, I will jump to the style.css. First, I will set the styles to this chat window because this is the parent div. So I will add the chat window as class selector. I will set the width to 100%, margin outer spacing 5 rem, display to flags. This will set all the content into the center of the window. I need to set the justify content to be center. I will set that starter content min width of 830 px. If I save, now we can able to see the content. It will be center of the screen. Next thing I need to add the styles to this start content h1. Here chat window and then start content with h1. I will set the font size to 3.5 rem, line height to 4 rem, letter spacing should be normal, font weight to 500, letter spacing to minus 0.03 em, margin top to 18 px. I say we'll get here. Now I need to set the dynamic colors to the brand name. So with the help of brand allo from the start content with dot chat window and then start content h1 for the first span tag we have a brand allo. I will add the background with linear color. I save, we can get that background color of that span tag. So we need to adjust that. Then I will add more styles here with background size to 400 percentage and then 100 percentage I will set the position to relative, display to inline block to that particular H1, color to transparent. This will help us to set this background to the text of WebKit background clip to text, WebKit text fill color to be transparent. If I save, now that background color will remove and it will set to that text of that particular element. Next thing, I need to add the styles to that brand question also. Before that, I will add the break element here. This will set to two lines. I will add the color to this brand question with light gray color. If I save, now we'll get that. Then next thing, I need to add the styles to this UL also. So for that, I will add one li with some prompt how to become a full stack developer. Later we'll set these things to dynamic. For the styling purpose, I have added this. Now I have expand this. Now you can see that clearly. I will jump to the style.css. Here I will add the styles to this with the UL. I will set the display to inline flags, width of 830 px, margin top to be 50 px. If I save, now we can see this. Same thing, I will add the styles to this UL with li, margin outer spacing to be 10 px, padding inner spacing 10 px, border radius to 10 px, background color should be gray color and then cursor to pointer. If I save, now we'll get this. Once we over, we need to change the color also. So again, I will copy this and I will paste it with the hover background color as gray color. If I go on over, it will be changed. The next thing I need to add the styles to this chat content. So with the help of chat window and then chat content, I will set the overflow white to scroll, width of 900 px and then height of 650 px. If I save, if I go to the browser, here we can see this with scroll. So we need to remove this scroll. So for this, we have already done for that UL tag of that recent. So I will use this with chat content of WebKit scroll bar display none. If I save, it will be goes off. The next thing I need to set the styles to this prompt box and then privacy policy. So I will jump to the style.css with input area and then privacy policy. These are the two elements with class value here. I will set the styles to position to be fixed. So this will set to in a fixed position. Then bottom to be 30 px, display to be flags, background to be light gray color and then I will add the border radius to 50 px, adding inner spacing top and bottom to 4 px and then right and left to 8 px. If I save, now we'll get that prompt here and then still the policy is upstairs. We need to set the same. So I will add the privacy policy styles with bottom to 5 px, font size to 12 px and then background to transparent. If I save, still the privacy policy is on the top. So I will copy this and then I will change the class value here. If I save, now we can get that. Now let us style this input area. So for that, I will add the input area element selector of input. For this, I will set the width of 800 px, height of 50 px, padding inner spacing should be 20 px. I will remove the outline to none, border to none, font size to 16 px, background to transparent. If I save, now we can see this. The next thing I need to add the styles to this icon group also with same input area and then class of icon group. I will set the position to relative right to 5 px. If I save, now it will be set here. Next thing I need to add the styles to that each I tag with same input area icon group with element selector of I, padding 15 px, font size to be 20 px. I will set the cursor to pointer with transition 0.5 second. If I save, we'll get that styles here. So now we can see the enter prompt here. So we have some styles missed. So I will insert here and I will check here. This is for the chat content. For the chat content, I have set the width of 900 px. So for now, we need to hide this. If I hide, we can get that hello Sarath Chandar welcome message with that prompt message here. So for now, I will command this chat content. If I save, if I go to the browser, if I refresh, we'll get that design here. So this is what the dynamic, and this is also dynamic, right? Once we add the prompt, and then if I hit, we need to generate the prompt from an API. Before that, once we type, then only this send button should be appear. So for the first time, it should be hide. So for that, in the style.css, I will add this same thing with nth child of third one. I will set the display to none for this. If I save, if I go to the browser, will not get. So we need to add the functionality to this. Once we type, then only this should be visible. Now we can able to see the styles to this. So I can remove the dummy text from the side navigation. I will keep this UL as empty. So based on the search, it will add. And then this is also I need to add from dynamic. So for this functionality, I need to do from JavaScript. So for that, I will jump to the script.js. Here I need to declare the declaration with the help of const. I will add the declaration of site navigation equal to document. Document object represent your web page. If you want to access any element in an HTML page, you always start with document with dot query selector with the class value of dot class name of site navigation. I will do a console.log for this to check what is this site navigation. If I go on insert element, here we can get that entire site navigation from here. So this is how the DOM tree will work. So I will declare all the declarations here what I'm currently using in this project. If you want, you can pause the video and you can declare it by your own. This is what the side navigation. This is for the bar toggle. Once we click, we need to toggle this, and then this is the start content and then input area. This is what the send request of this paper plane chat history start content, and then this is what the chat content, and this is what the results we are going to do here. For this prompt questions, we need to get from an JavaScript array. So for that, I have already created an array with prompt question with question and icon. This question will be appended here with particular icon. We need to append that. For that, we need to use the window dot add event listener of onload whenever the project is loading. I will do this add event listener of onload with prompt question dot for each. So for this, with the help of data, I will set the console.log to check what this data contains. If I save, if I go to the browser in the console.log, we'll get that object of 4 with question and icon. So this value I need to set here for dynamic. So I will remove this console.log. Instead of that, I will create a let item equal to document dot create element of li, because we are going to append this into the UL tag, right? So we need to create the li. I will set that item dot inner HTML equal to, I need to append that div here with class value of prompt suggestion. I will close the div. Inside the div, I'm going to add the p tag with string concatenation of data dot question. One more div with class value of icon. Inside that, I will add the I tag with the class of string concatenation with data dot icon. So I will close the I here. I will close the div to here. This item to be append to that start content UL. This is the start content with that UL. So I will copy this and I will set dot append of item. If I save, if I go to the browser, here we can get that prompt message with 5 message, because here we have already added one static message. So I will go and remove that. If I save, if I go to the browser, we can see only the 4, but the icon is not displayed. So I will check the icon is appended or not. So here the icon is there, but I is not closed properly. So here I have missed the double quotes. If I save, if I go to the browser, here now we can see this. Now we need to add the styles to this. So next to this start content UL, I'm going to add the styles for that. So I will set the styles to that prompt suggestion. These are the class we have added from that JavaScript. So for this, I will set the display to flags, justify content to be space between flux direction. I will set to column I to 150. If I save, we'll get that height of 150. with align items to be center. Next thing I need to add the styles to that p tag with same prompt suggestion and then element of p. I will set the margin to 1 rem. If I save, we'll get the space around that p tag. I need to add the styles to this icon. Prompt suggestion and then div of dot icon. I need to set this icon into the end of the list. So I will use this text align to be end. If I save, it will set to the end. I need to set this icon style here with the help of prompt suggestion and then I will set the background color to white, adding inner spacing 10 px, border radius to be 50. If I save, if I go to the browser now, we can see the prompt suggestion with icons and style here. Once we click this, we need to get the response also. Now we'll add the functionality. Once we click this should be collapse and this should be navigate to here, right? For that, we need to add the sidebar toggle. So for this, we have already added the declaration to the FA bars with sidebar toggle dot add even listener of click because we are going to fire this with click. So inside that, we need to set the class to this site navigation. So for that, I will add the site navigation dot class list dot toggle because we are going to add and remove this class as expand close. I will go and check here for the site navigation. So right now only we have one class. If I click, it has added the subclass of expand close. If I click again, it will remove. If I click again, it will add. Once it's add, we need to set the styles to this. So again, I will jump to the style.css to the top navigation bar. For this top navigation bar, I will add the site navigation dot expand close of subclass. Once this happen, I will set the width to 68 px. If I save, if I go to the browser, see now it is automatically added the class already. So it's set to width of 68 px. If I click expand, we'll get that cool animation. If I click, if I close, it will work. So once it's closed, we need to hide this text and then we no need to show that recent also. So for that, I need to use this side navigation expand class as side navigation button and then action list button. So these are the two buttons I'm going to set. So for this, I will set the width of 45 px and then text align to be center. If I save, we can't able to see that. Now we need to hide the text for this. So the first thing we have the collapse text and then second thing I need to set this recent of chat history. Third thing I need to remove this action list also. So for that, as I said, with that expand close with collapse text, chat history and then chat content. These are all the three places I'm going to set display to none. If I save, if I go to the browser, we'll not get that text over here. If I click, then we'll get that. If I close, we'll not able to see the reset. If I click, we'll get that. How cool is this, right? The next thing we need to type and we need to enable the send button here. So again, I will jump to the script.js. I will add the input area dot add even listener of key up. As I said, once we type, we need to enable that, right? So with the help of E, this will get as the entire element here. I will set the console.log to check that E dot target dot value. If I save, if I go to the browser in the console, if I type something, we'll get that entire value here. So based on this, we need to enable and disable that. So I will change this console.log to if dot length greater than 0. If this is happened, I need to set this send request. We have already created this send request as a paper plane. This send request dot style dot display equal to inline. Else the same thing I will copy here and I will paste it here and then I will change to none for this. If I save, if I go to the browser, I will type test, it will get, if I remove, it will hide. If I type, if I hit send, we'll get that text and we'll get that response from here. As same as we'll get that prompt of this. So for that, we'll create the function. Function is a block of scope with the function keyword, function name of get Gemini response. We'll get that question and then append history. These are the two parameters I'm going to use. So here inside this, I will add the console dot log of questions. So whenever we hit this and we hit this, we need to get that questions. So for that, here we have already added the item dot inner HTML. So we need to add the events to that also. With the help of item dot add event listener of click again with function. Then inside that I need to pass that get Gemini response. We'll get that data already here with questions. We'll set this as true. I will let you know why these parameters I have set these things true. So for the next thing, I need to add one more event listener to that send request dot add event listener of click again. Inside that again I will call that get Gemini response with input area dot value of true. If I save, if I go to the browser, if I click write a sample code, we'll get that question. If I click how to become a full stack, we'll get that question. I'll type hello and I will hit send. We'll get that question here. Once we click this, we have get that question and we need to set to recent here, right? So for that, here inside the get Gemini response, I will add one more letter of history li and I will same create document dot create element of li history li dot inner html equal to I will add the I class here with font awesome regular with font awesome message. I will close the I tag here. I will add the string concatenation of that question what I have received from there and I will close that div here. I need to set this into that chat history dot append of that history li. If I save, if I go to the browser, if I click here we can see. If I click here we can see. The next thing I need to get the response from a Google Gemini. So how we can do that with the help of JavaScript fetch. We'll get this from Google Gemini API. So here we'll find that Google Gemini API. This is for the developers ai.google.dev. Inside this, we'll get that AI for every developer. So here we'll load more about Gemini API. So once we log in and we can get a API key from here and then we need to read the API document. Here right now we are doing with the web. So I will get started on the web. Here we can get that prerequisite is with Node.js and then modern web browser and we need to generate the API key. So here they have mentioned with Node.js. So we are creating with JavaScript, right? So how we can do that? So once we log in, we need to get from that web. So here we can get that API with create API key. We need to create that projects and if we click enter, it will create the API key like this. So as I said here, they are mentioned with Node.js. Now we need to use with JavaScript, right? I can copy this link of post. I will jump to here. I will add the fetch. Here I will create one const AI URL equal to I will add the copied URL here with my key what I have generated. You can also sign up and you can also get that key like this. So I will copy and paste the key here. I will use this AI URL to fetch. We need to use some more parameters here as they mention. We need to use the content type as default and then these are the content we are going to pass as a body. So if you are using a body, we need to use the method for default. So with the method of post and then body, as I said, we need to pass as a JSON dot stringify. Inside that, we need to send that contact and then I will copy and paste it here. These are the contact and these are the parts. These are the text we need to pass. Instead of this text, I will use a question here. For that fetch, I will use the then for getting the response with response as JSON. Once it's converted to JSON, I will use the data with JSON formatted value. I will check with console.log of data. If I save, if I go to the browser, if I click on this write a sample text, if I go to the network, here I can see that fetch request. Here we can see this is pending and now it is success. If I go to the console, here we can get that value response. With this content of pods, we can see inside this content and then inside this pod, we can get this text. Here we can see the response from an AI. These are the response. We need to append that. So once we click this, we need to set a loader and this should be disabled and we need to set the right. So for that, I need to create a declaration inside this function. So I need to enable these results first. I have enabled. If I go to the browser, nothing is there. I need to append these values into the results. So before that, results.innerhtml equal to empty. I need to reset this input area dot value also to be empty. Once this loaded, I need to disable this and then I need to enable these results, right? So for that, start content dot style dot display equal to none. Then same thing, I will copy and I will paste. I will set to block instead of start content. This should be chat content. Inside this response, I will set the results value here. Already we have seen this inside the data. We'll get that values inside the pot. So then first I will set the results dot inner HTML equal to data dot candidates of 0 array and then content dot pods. As I said, inside the pods we'll get that text here. So if I save, if I go to the browser, if I click on any question, how to become a full stack developer. Now we can able to see that start content and then yeah, the background is running. Once we get the response, it is directly set the result.inner HTML. So once we send the request, we need to set that user image with that question and then loader also here, right? So for that, I will declare the declaration let result title equal to, I will do the string concatenation here with div class of result title and then question of p tag string concatenation of question. And then as I said, I'm going to display the image source. I will use the image source from the Google picture of mine. I will copy and paste it here. This will get my image from the Google. Next thing, I need to create one more let with a result data equal to with same string concatenation of div class equal to result data. Then inside the div, I'm going to display one more image of that Google Gemini with the same URL of static.com from Gemini sprinkle. And then next to this, I will add one more div with class loader. Then inside that, I'm going to add div with class of animated bg. So here for this we have three lines. I will copy this for three times and these two things we need to append to that result. Results dot inner html plus equal to result title and then results dot inner html plus equal to result data. If I save, if I go to the browser, if I click how to become here, now we'll get that how to become a full stack developer title and then image with that Google Gemini image. Once the response came, it is gone, right? So first I need to add the loader here. So for that I need to jump to the style.css. So the first thing I need to set the styles to that result title with that chat content and then dot result title. This is what the result title. We are going to set the styles. I need to set this into the center of the list with the help of display flags. I will set the align items to be center with margin bottom to 2 rem. And then next thing I need to set the styles to that image also with same result title and then image element. I will set the margin right to 10 px, border radius to 50 percentage, height of 32 px to that image and then width of 32 px. Next thing I need to add the styles to this image of this result data also. So I will use this same. Instead of result title, I will set to result data here. I will set the margin to 10 px. I need to animate that. With the help of animation, I will add the spin with 4 second with linear and infinite, height of 32, same as this, and then width as 32. So if I save, if I go to the browser, if I refresh, if I click on any prompt, here we'll get that user image with that title also with the same line. Now we need to rotate this and we need to add the loader also. So first I need to spin that. For the spin, we need to add the keyframe. So I will add the keyframe with the identifier of spin, and I will set the 100% with WebKit transform to rotate 360 degree and then transform to same 360 degree. This will append to this identifier. Once we click load, it will rotate for that transformation of 4 seconds with infinite of rotate. If I go here, if I refresh, if I click, now we'll get that rotation of that icon. Next to this, we need to add the loader also. Now I will set the styles to this loader with the help of class selector with dot loader. I will set the width of 100% display to flags, and then flux direction should be column and then gap of 10 px. Next thing, inside that we have a animated bg class. So we need to add the styles to that. With the help of animated bg, I will set the border radius to 4 px. I will remove the border to none. I will add the animation loader to the 3 second with infinite and then same linear, and then background color to light gray color, and I will set the background again with linear gradient to right with blue, white, and then same blue again. And then I will set the height of 15 px. I save. If I go to the browser, if I click any of the prompt, now we'll get that 3 animated BG background with colors. I need to add the animation to that. For the third one, so if I click here, we have three things. For the third one, I need to reduce to little bit. So I will add animated BG nth child of third one. I will set the width of 70%. I need to add the animation to this loader with the help of keyframe. So with the keyframe, with the identifier of loader, I will set the 0% with background position of minus 800 px to 0, and then I will set to with background position of 800 px to 0. If I save, if I go to the browser, if I click any of the prompt, we'll get that animation effect here with loading of that image, and we'll get the response also. So once the response is came, we need to add the text to the top as well as the Gemini icon with typing effect for this response, right? So first I will set this icon of that question with Gemini icon with that result response. So for that, inside the response, we have directly set this result.inner.html. Instead of that, I will remove this and I will set this div here with div class of result response. Inside this div, again I will set the image here what we have already used this. So for this time we are not going to rotate this. So I will use this image and then I will set the p tag with id of type effect. Inside that I will set that what data we have received. So I will save. If I go and click this, now we'll get that. So here this loader and these things is not in the same line. So I will check why. Now I will add the styles to this result data and then result response. So as I said, this is the result data and I will append this same styles to the result response also. I will set the display to flags, align items to be start, and then margin bottom to be to rem. And then same thing I need to set the styles to this p tag also, right? For that, with result data of p element of that title result response, p element of that response, I will set the font size to 17 px and then line height to 2.2, margin bottom to be to rem. If I save, if I go to the browser, now we can see that design is set to here. If I refresh, if I go and click how to become a front-end developer, now we'll get that loader and that this image in a single liner. We'll get how to become a front-end developer as that, and we'll get that everything. And here instead of this equal to, I will set to plus equal to and I will again click on these things. Now it will append to this same result with the response. Now we'll get the response, still the loader is present. We need to remove that. So inside the script.js, once we receive the response, we'll remove that document dot query selector of class of result data. This is what the class we are going to remove. I will copy this dot class of result data dot remove. If I save, if I go to the browser, if I click how to become, I'm getting the error. What was the error? Cannot read the property of undefined zero. So I will refresh it again. If I click how to become a full stack developer, and we'll get the prompt here, and it is added to the reset. Now the loader is went and we'll get that text here. Here we get the text, but the styling is not proper. So we need to add the styling also to that. Once we click on new chat, we need to add the new chat. Once we click this, again we need to load that. So first we'll do that. For the new chat, I will create one more function with the name of new chat. So for this, we need to enable and disable as these two things. Already we have, I will set these things to block, and then I will set these things to none. Then I will copy this and I need to initialize this with this new chat of on click equal to this new chat of that function. If I save, if I go to the browser, if I click how to write a thank you, it is loading the response. Once we get the response, it is attached. Once we click new chat, we'll get that. Again, once I click to how to become a full stack developer, now it is loading. Once it's load, again once we click this, again this should be load, right? For that we need to create a event listener for this also. In the script.js, we are appending this li here, same history li dot add event listener of click with that function. Inside that, I need to call that generate Gemini response with that question. We have already added that question here, and then I will set that true here. If I save, if I go to the browser, if I go on add allow and I will hit again, if you click this here, it is appending again, and again it is loading the same question. Here we have appended. It will get the response. If I click again, it is appending. We need to restrict that. So for that only we have added this true false for that appending area. So here instead of this, I will set these things to false. Here I will check that flag. If this append history only true, then only we need to append this history here. We'll get that particular response of that how to become a full stack developer. Once we get this, we'll not able to read this properly. So we need to style this. So how we can do the styles? So here, if this is star star, we need to set to bold. If it is single star, we need to set to new line. So I can generate it again. Now I am getting a error because of I have reached the limit. So now I am getting the response here. From this response, we'll get that review, and then here for the response inside the content of that part, that array of 0, we can see this star star contains strong element, and if this slash n came, we need to set to next line. So for that only I'm going to create a new function with JSON escape. Because we are getting this as a JSON, we need to do this escape characters here. We'll simply return this string, and then I will replace regex. Then inside that I will add that string to replace. This is the regex pattern I need to replace with br. Same thing, I will copy, I will paste it to the next line. If sometimes we'll get that single slash n also. For that also we need to set to br. This function I need to utilize to here. So for that I will create one let declaration with response data equal to that function, and then I will pass this parameter here. We'll get that replace value of to that break. If I click again, now this is the prompt I have sent. We'll get the response. We'll wait for sometimes. Dot replace is not an error. We'll get that error of here. Sorry, instead of string I need to directly replace because already we have this parent. Again, this is the prompt. Once I get the response, you can able to see the console.log. Here I have only added the console. Instead of this console.log, if I click how to become a full stack developer, it is loading. Here we can get the response. As I said, it is replaced to be or here. So all the slash n, it will replace to be or. Same as we need to replace this star star to strong element. This is a star star. So I will expand here. So here I will add one more let of response array equal to response data dot split with that star star. And then once this present, I will create one more let with new response equal to null. Next thing I need to add the for each with let of I equal to 0, I less than response array dot length I plus plus. Inside this, I'm going to iterate this with if I double equal to 0 or I percentage not equal to 1. If this is present, we'll directly append the new response plus equal to response array of I. Else, if we get that, we'll set that same new response plus equal to, we'll add the string concatenation of strong, and then I will add the plus plus with response array of I again, and then I will close the strong element here with strong. If I save, now we'll get the new response here, and then I will append the new response into this p tag. If I click on how to become a full stack developer, now it is getting the response. Once it's get the response, it will automatically append here. How simple is this, right? So previously we can't able to get this style. After appending this, we'll get the style, bold characters, and it will append the new line also. And then we need to remove the star because we have added the new line to this star only, right? So here I need to add the dot split of empty space with join of and NBS. This will help us to set all the text as single array. Next thing I will add let new response to equal to new response dot split. As I said, I need to split this as star. I need to join with that empty space. After this, I need to append this text with directly to that p tag. For that, I will add let text area equal to document dot create element of text area. This will help us to segregate this HTML text, and it will return with that HTML value. Dot inner HTML equal to new response to, and then I will set that result inner HTML here. I have added this. If I save, if I go on hit this, now we'll get the response, but there is no typing effect. So we need to add that typing effect to that p tag. I will remove this. So we need to add the typing effect with timeout. So for that, I will add let new response data equal to new response to dot split of space, because we need to add the typing effect word by word, right? So I have used this space to identify the word. It will add the word by word. I will add again the for each of index of j array of new response data dot length, because we are splitted this value into the new response data, and then j plus plus. Inside this loop, I need to add the timeout. I need to pause this j and then new response data with value of j with empty space. So we need to add this set timeout. Instead of, I will add the new function called timeout. So I will create the function with timeout. I will get that index. Instead of function, we can set this as a const, and then timeout equal to, we'll get that index as a j, and then next word as that word by word array from that loop. Then inside that, I will set that set timeout here. So I will segregate the function with, from there. Inside that, I will add the document dot get element by ID, and then I will add this into this type effect dot inner HTML plus equal to next word. Here we have added the space, and the next word, it will append the word by word with additional space. If I save, if I go to the browser, if I click how to become a full stack developer, and it will load the animation with the prompt, and it will get that still the typing effect is not working. So why? Because so we have added that timeout without set interval. So I will add the 75 with multiply by index. If I save, if I go to the browser now, if I click how to become a full stack developer, we'll get that text here and then animation effect to this. Once we'll get the response, boom, we'll get that typing effect here. How simple is this, right? We'll handle this with that simple set timeout. So here we can get any questions or any prompt. So it will binded here. So the next thing, if I type hello, we'll get that send icon here. Once we click this, we'll get that loader and then we'll get here. So here we found some design issue. I will fix this image. So for that, I will set the styles to that result response image here. Next to this with result response of image. So we have already added the styles same as the top title. If I save, if I go to the browser, here we'll get that. If again I am going to click on this, we'll get that loader animation effect. This will process the request. Once we get the response, it will automatically append it to here. It will type the word by word. So only here I have added the space. So it will not confuse with these words. And then we'll get here. Again, I will click on new chat. So here I will ask here write a sample code to learn JavaScript. It will return the prompt with entire data with commands what is the code contains. Again, I will go to the new chat. We can collapse and we can expand. Now I will ask the prompt to write a text to say thanks for watching my videos to my subscriber. Hey there, awesome subscribers. It will prompt the message and all the thanks to my subscribers. Finally, we have completed this Google Gemini using HTML, CSS and JavaScript. I hope this video will be helpful for you. Please like and share this video and also subscribe to my channel Sharat Chandar K to watch more like this one. If you are interested in JavaScript projects like this, I have created and added a playlist link in the description. Please do check it out. Thank you so much for watching. Until next time, keep coding and keep learning. See you in the next video. Happy coding. Bye for now. Have a nice day.